Hi, everyone, and welcome to ESL Level 3-4 with Delgado Adult Ed. This week's topic is at school. We're going to talk about what you have done in the past, and we're going to share information with each other. Let's start by sharing some information about the usual progression of school in the United States. Most kids start school at age 5 in kindergarten, but a lot of people now put their children in pre-K or nursery school before kindergarten. And then in the US, to get your diploma, we go all the way through the senior year of high school when the students are about 17 or 18 years old. After you finish high school, you can go to post-secondary school. You could go to a community college, you could go to a university, or you could go for a postgraduate degree as a doctor or a lawyer or some other profession like that. So we're going to talk about this progression of schools this week using the present perfect tense to discuss your past educational experiences and to discuss ways to prepare for jobs. We'll do this by looking at a lot of charts, maps, and timelines and doing some reading and writing. So the present perfect tense is for actions completed in the past at an undefined time. It's just sometime in the general past, right? So when we're using this present perfect tense, we need a helping verb. Remember, if you're using she, he, or it, you need to use the helping verb has. And if you're using I, we, or they, you have to use the helping verb have. So in here, there's a series of photos with the different levels of school and children who are that age of school. And you can see they all use the present perfect tense. Read those over to yourself, say them out loud, and practice, practice, practice. And then think about yourself. What schools have you attended? Here's a chart that I drew to show my educational experience. I did not attend nursery school. I went to kindergarten. I went to elementary, middle school, high school, community college, and then a university and a little bit more for my education. What would your education look like? How could you draw it out to show us that information in a neat and dynamic way? Try to do that. And then also think about, does your home country organize the schooling the same as in the United States? Or do you have different categories and different age groups and different types of schools? It'd be fascinating to know. All right, the next way that we could show some information is using some bar charts or a pie graph. So we could see that most of my schooling was in K through 12, and the smallest amount was at the graduate school. But also in the pie chart, you can see that I attended school in America and in England. Where have you attended school? Have you done half in America and half in a different country? Have you done a little bit in America and a lot in another country? Fill in those sentence frames at the bottom and think about how you could describe your educational history in a different way. And in the quiz this week, we'll give you an opportunity to either take a photo of what you have designed to show your education, or you could write a paragraph about your educational history, and there'll be a place to put that in the quiz. Also, you can read this example here. We're going to try to go fast through this video this week. Okay, the vocabulary is specifically for at school. It is nursery school, homeschool, university, associate's degree, elementary school, middle school, bachelor's degree, high school, primary school, trade school, community college, and master's degree. So all of these have with them sentences for you to read over and practice, say them out loud to practice, and most of them contain a present perfect tense verb in there. All right. So when we talk about the progression of schools in the US and we're talking about this vocabulary, it's kind of like, well, which grades are which type of school? So we have this chart here for you to look at. There's different categories in different states and different regions of the country, and it also depends what type of school you go to. So you might call your high school a high school, or you might call it a secondary school in a different part of the country. Both are correct, they're just in different areas. And there is some overlap between elementary and grammar and primary school. So look at the chart and see how that reflects your own life and what you know about your children's or your friends' children's education right now. All right, let's move on to kind of look at a map So the graduates of high school in Louisiana have completed more science credits than the graduates in Texas. How do I know that? Well, I read it from the map. Well, look at the map and tell me, how did I know that? It has to do with the colors, right? And looking at the key. We want to use this more than the comparison that we used last week to read these charts and graphs and make up our own sentences. So in this next map, I can see that more students have graduated in Idaho than in Louisiana, because the best is green and the worst is red. So Idaho is better than Louisiana at graduation rates. So look at some of these other states and use these sentence frames to fill them in. So more students have graduated from high school in this state than in that state. And you can do the reverse. Fewer students have graduated from high school in this state than in this state. The answers are endless. Look at your chart and come up with some sentences. We'll put a couple of those in the quiz also. All right, we're going to make this video very quick and short, because you know you have to go through and read it yourself. But we're going to look at these photos and facts about jobs, and we're going to continue to use the present perfect tense. And just as a little add-on, we're going to add in this term recently. So the present perfect tense is often used with the adverb recently. Recently is used for something that has already happened. So I have applied for 6 jobs recently. I have arranged flowers recently. She has ridden a horse recently. All of those things have happened and they're done. They've been completed. So we have just a list of jobs, real jobs here that you might be interested in. And we use the present perfect tense to describe them. We're not going to read all of them here to you. Take a minute, read them to yourselves. Focus on the present and the present perfect tense verb. Focus on the word recently and how it is used. Say them out loud. Maybe create some of your own sentences. And then talk about yourself. What have you done recently? There's some sentence frames and we'll put those in the quiz. That's the end of the video, y'all. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us, and have fun practicing present perfect and the term recently. And make us some cool maps and charts. I'm very excited to see them. All right, bye, y'all.